Hi again. My name is Rebel. Today I'm going to be putting out my what sold video for last week, Monday through Thursday, which was October 9th through the 12th. And now remind everybody that is the week that we were on vacation. But my sales were about average, maybe not fourth quarter average, but about average. So I can't complain. I've mentioned this in a previous video. We had 127 packages to ship that Monday. The Sunday that we got back from vacation was probably one of the best selling days I had the entire year. So that is going to be a part of what you're going to see on the next video. But this is all eBay because while I was on vacation, none of the other platforms will allow you to do like time away or vacation where you could actually still sell. So I had to turn all the other platforms off. But we've been home now, well, almost a week. It's been busy, but y'all, I have decided that the clutter's becoming overwhelming. Anybody else feel that way? The clutter's becoming overwhelming. A lot of stuff is making its way upstairs for different reasons. I've decided this weekend to take back a little bit of the space. And it's not just the eBay stuff. It's homeschooling stuff that we no longer use. It's just clutter. Not dirty, just clutter. And I'm going to take that back. So I'm going to be doing a little bit less eBaying over the next few days. I'll still do some just because I list every day, so I need stuff to get processed so that I can list them. But I'm going to spend some time just focusing on, making my living space. You know what I mean? All right, let's go ahead and get to this. When you're a full-time reseller, it can become overwhelming. And even though I have a 30 by 50 building to store everything in, that's stuff that's listed. It's not my stuff that needs cleaned, stuff that needs tested, stuff that's not listed, incoming, just, like I said, eBay only. First thing I wanted to share with you, Christmas, if you've not got it listed, get it listed. People are starting to look for stuff to decorate with, nostalgia, anything and all things. I sold this quilted Christmas stocking for $7.21. It all adds up, y'all. All right, this was from the Private Pick Estate sale where I bought all of that vintage plush. These are Dakin wool pig plush. When you squeeze them, they make squeaking sounds, winking sounds, I guess you should say. Definitely, if you find these, they tend to do really well for me. These sold for $24. Gund Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit plush sold for $8.02. Mattel Tigger 12-inch plush. It was one of the musical ones from 1998, sold for $12.07. Lego Hobbit City Undercover, just all the different Lego video games. There was a time when I bought a lot of video games, but I have come to the conclusion I need to be way more picky. In fact, I can't even remember any that I've picked up this past year. I don't remember any. Now, I picked up some at the Highway 127 sale. I listed quite a bit of it, and then I think I sold the rest of it to Trading Post pickers, just because I just got tired of listing them. Video games, electronics, that's just not my thing. I do not feel comfortable with them because of the testing and the potential for buyers claiming it doesn't work or just, it's just not my thing. But anyway, these four together sold for $38.80. Belky. Just say no to Belky. Although this one did sell and it sold for a decent amount. This is a Belky bear from 1999. Belky just means it came from the Belk department store. I guess they come out with annual bears, and they're very slow moving for me. This, though, finally sold for $15.31. Animal Adventure Calico Cat Plush from 2017 sold for $22.45. I pick up most Animal Adventure, and I tend to do better with somewhat older stuff. Not the, the 21, 22, 23 years, but before that, because they're just not going to be found in stores anymore. Now, I picked this up at the Goodwill bins when we went down and we ran into Harry Tornado and his wife. I picked up a couple of Octonaut figures, and then I picked up the dome to this octopod, and a couple of the octopods I decided to list each of them separate as replacements, and this octopod room sold for $8.96. Disney Eeyore 13-inch plush sold for $13.45. I pick up most things Pooh, and to be honest, I have like 4 totes that I keep the Pooh stuff in, and it's always moving. I always sell a little bit of it. Now, this is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Eddie and Kay. Eddie said that his girlfriend saw me feature this in one of my haul videos, asked about it in the comments, but I couldn't find it. At some point, it got buried in a bag or something. I finally found it and listed it while we were on vacation. I pre-processed about 120 items for me to list while we were away. That way, every day I could do, 5 or 10, maybe 15, depending on the day. And just kind of keep the algorithm happy with stuff. This was one of the ones I listed while we were away, but somehow, some way, it stayed with the 1-day handling versus the 5-day handling that it was supposed to be on. But thankfully, my son was able to pull it and get it packed for me. It was my only snafu for the week as far as any issues with eBay. So I was grateful that he was able to do that for me. And this Disney Stitch pullback car sold for $14.95. These are wooden ABC blocks. At first I thought they were Play School because I bought them in a lot with some Play School blocks, but these ended up being a little bit different, so I opted not to list them with the Play School. I listed them separate. But these sold very, very quickly. It was 2 little wagons with some extra blocks that were still sealed in a bag for $16. This is advertising plush. Love finding it. This is for Rug Doctor. It's a 7-inch plush named Steamy. It sold for $14.54. Now, these Christmas ornaments, I picked them up recently at a church. It was just a cardboard box of like mostly vegetables, some fruit maybe, and then a couple of other like houses and little miniature figures. I paid $10 for the box. I've already sold a couple of them, but this was the potato glass ornament. They were all marked Germany. I found out that they ended up being this Inga glass, but this one sold by itself for $17.95. Now, I picked this up at a thrift store, I think when we were out in Asheville last year. So it's been listed a while, but they were marked USA 900 on the outside, and they had terry cloth lining. But I couldn't find really any other names or brands or whatever. But they ended up selling for $40.42. All right, this is part of a tote of homeschool curriculum that Robert picked up. He paid $40 for everything in the tote. It was overfull with books. I've sold quite a bit of them already. This Simply Good and Beautiful Math Answer Key Only sold for $9.86. All right, I think this is the buyer that has bought several of these pieces already from me. I think she's just filling in her collection piece by piece. She bought this Homer Laughlin Republic Jean serving bowl and sugar bowl. Paid $23 for the 2 pieces. All right, string lights, especially when they have like Christmas, Halloween coverings. For me, I pull the covers off of the lights if they do come off, and I sell them without the lights usually. I mean, I just sold a Snoopy string light, but I couldn't get the covers off. They were like part of the lights. But for the most part, if I find these, I tend to just pull the light covers off. The Santa Claus set, they were 2 inches. I think they were kind of squishy also. There was a set of 18 of them. They sold for $20.45. Vintage Christmas stuff. I probably got this at a yard seller and estate sale for $1 or less. This is a Christmas plastic wreath. Not from Mercari. I guess the item number was 1085. Sold for $15, and I don't think it had been listed even a month. TV Trading Company. This was a little 4-inch rabbit, and the ears had like the no word Velcro on the ears. So I guess it could attach to something. I'm not quite sure, but it sold for $10.45. Another small plush. It had a rattle in it. This is Aurora Baby. It was an elephant. Sold for $8.02. I've found this series a couple of times. It's called Jungle Joe, and I had different animals that made sounds. This is the Safari Bear figure, and it sold for $9. Probably picked up at the bins. Now this is Hasbro Finding Nemo. His name was Bitin' Bruce. I have a video of him. He like wiggled and stuff. Worked perfectly from 2002, and it sold for $22.45. These next few are the remaining parts of the order that Sherry placed with me during the week that I was on vacation. She bought this Snoring Bear plush for $10.45. This American Girl Bitty Baby doll for $29. And ignore the negative because I sent her a large refund on her shipping because I hadn't combined orders for her. But she bought this Wish Pets Ivan the Monkey for $8 and the Koala Bear for $17.95. I had to pick an order to send the refund to her back on. So I just picked the one that had the most dollars. Kellogg's Corn Flakes Cornelius the Green Rooster. I think this might have been from the Hyben estate sale that I won. This particular plush sold for $8.02. This is one of my examples of I listed the little green alligator, and then eventually I found the actual topsy-turvy figure that goes inside of it. So I ended it, added the figure, and it sold probably within a month for $8.06. All right, vintage bibs. This one was from 1994. The brand was Windward, and it said, "I got bit by the racing bug." It was very cute. The front was kind of like terry cloth, but it did, I think, have a plastic kind of coating on the back. It sold very quickly for $16. All right, see my lip face? Not happy. This is one of those examples of I listed something for a set price and eBay changed it on me and I didn't catch it. I've gotten to the point now where when I list something, especially if it's higher dollar, as soon as I hit that list button, I run to my active listings to make sure it's listed for the correct amount. I've sent a message to eBay for Business. They're basically saying, you know, unless I can provide them video of it happening, you know, they can't get their technicians to try to replicate it. Maybe they don't believe me. Maybe they do. but I'm planning on doing that. I'm going to come down here one morning and I'm going to record on this computer so that it's just set up already to record what I'm doing, and hopefully I can catch it, because the other day I listed 12 things and 2 times the price changed on me when I hit enter. So this was supposed to be listed for $49.95 and it sold for $8.96 because I didn't catch it. Here's a Christmas ornament by Midwest of Cannon Falls. It was another wool pig ornament, sold for $8.96. Now this is the first time I found this. I know my friend Beth had told me that she's done really well with this. I've also seen Courtney from Bolo Buddies also has sold this a couple of times, and sometimes I think she sells the pieces if she doesn't have a complete one. But it is called a Fisher-Price Caterpillar. I guess it's like one of the first toys where you learn some coding. And this one with 8 segments sold for $26.95. Now this was a nice surprise. I picked it up probably at an estate sale, but it was just a crib toy, but it was made of just these plastic balls. Kind of reminded me of like fishing floater type ball things. It was 10 inches long, some slight discoloration. It sold for $32.32. Little People, these are the newer ones. I think this might be the one. Now they're more skinny and smaller. I call these the heavies. I shoot for about $3 to $4 each when I'm selling them. I got $6 for the 2 of these. Spark Create Imagine, that is a Walmart brand. This was an 18-inch dog and he sold for $20.21. I should have said this way at the beginning of my video, but if you're new to my channel, I do not offer free shipping. So I got $20.21 for this item, and then as you can see down in the notes, they also paid my flat rate shipping for that size plush for $6.95. All right, this was, I tend to pick up a lot of melamine dishes. This one was by Ingrid Limited Chicago. I picked up, I think it was like 8 of these bowls, and I think some of the plates. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but it probably wasn't more than a couple of dollars, maybe up to $5. And these first set of 4 bowls sold for $22.45. Fiesta Standing Bear Plush 9-inch sold for $8.02. But y'all, I put this on here because this is just one of those examples of, you know, about to have a heart attack, because it was in a tote. I dug through that tote twice. Could not find it. Was about to give up to have Robert come help me look for it in nearby totes in case it fell out or whatever. And it was on the top shelf. I went to push the tote up and I saw underneath, it was all the way in the back under something that I didn't realize something was under. So I had kept digging in that tote and never listed that last thing all the way in the corner. And that was him. It doesn't happen often, but on occasion I'll tell Robert I can't find something. And my way of looking through a tote and his way of looking through a tote are totally different. I tend to just shuffle stuff around looking, where he'll dump it. So that would have been the next step for this. He dumps them and puts them back in one by one, looking for it. And sometimes it's there. This is K. Wayne Pine Leaf Tray Platter. It was from Southern Living. It was 13 by 6. I want to say I picked it up for $1 or so, or maybe a fill a box. But it sold for $15. Now this was in the bag of stuff that I picked up when we were down visiting Tea and Pickers in Cleveland, Tennessee area. I bought a bag that was full of VeggieTale nativity stuff, Littlest Pet Shops, The compacts for Littlest Pet Shop. The Pixel Chicks. Pixel Chicks have been amazing. All of that was in the bag, and I paid a couple of dollars for it. This is just 2 of the nativity pieces, and it sold for $11. Homer Laughlin restaurant ware. I picked up a whole pile of these platters and decided to list them individually. They did have some scratching and stuff on it. I just show pictures of it and stated in the description. This one platter sold for $8.02. All right, this was from a recent estate sale that I went to where I got all of the high-end vintage clothing, lots of shoes. We just found such amazing stuff there. I haven't listed them yet, but I did list the shoes. These were Paul Mayer Attitudes, flat, like ballet type slippers. We paid $2 each, and then I think the last day I picked up a couple of more pair and they were half price, but I'm pretty sure this was one of the first days, so I paid $2 and they sold for $40. All right, last 2. I picked this up recently at a yard sale. Probably, I think I paid $1 each. Maybe this was from one of my last bins bags. I can't remember. We've gone through so much inventory this year. It had definite issues. You know, the eyes were scratched. It had some discoloration. The mane had lots of wear, but highly sought after. This is a Commonwealth Nighty Night Horse plush. I bought that at a yard sale. I remember now. Paid $1 for it. And it sold very quickly for $42. And then this. First Impressions is a brand I like to pick up. Not all of it is higher dollar, but a lot of it is like baby type loveys and plush. This was a lamb 12-inch plush, and it sold for $44.95. All right, that was for last week while we were on vacation. My next video will be out probably Sunday, and it will be for the weekend sales. And like I said, Sunday was absolutely amazing. But we're just plodding along, y'all, plodding along. And now I'm going to go upstairs and start trying to figure out where to start in my great declutter push for the weekend. I think it'll just make me feel better. All right, y'all get to work. Bye.